I do a little.
The ice here is about a foot thick and takes some cutting.
Good, we've hit the seawater. Just push it underneath. Gone.
Yeah.
We have an ice hole. Fishing.
Ice fishing with hand lines hasn't changed much in hundreds of years, although hooks made from animal bone have been replaced by stainless steel.
Slightly more serious hook, and then that's not ordinary line, that's cable, that's wire cable, so even the Greenland shark's really big sharp teeth shouldn't cut through that. We've got a big lump of rock on the end to make sure it keeps on the bottom, and then we've got strong chain.
Simi unwraps his secret weapon, days-old seal meat.
That is horrible. But to a Greenland shark, that smells like dinner. Get that on the hook.
And then 3,000 feet of line, ready to drop into another world, where the water is pitch black and under intense pressure.
Okay, go. So another one.
Yeah, get a knife.
So all the bait's in the water, and it's now pulling down fast. It's about the same distance to the bottom here as it is to the top of that mountain. Everything's very still up here on the surface, but there's a current. Even with that rock and chain on, it's not going straight down, it's going slightly that way.
The current will carry the smell out to sea, and if we're lucky, draw sharks onto the bait in pitch darkness, half a mile beneath us.
Again. We have the bottom. That's just a terrifying depth, and that is just way deeper than anything I've ever fished before.
The fishing that I normally do is often about waiting, but out here that's simply not an option. We would freeze to death. The Inuit way is to retreat to camp and return the next day. It's 5 miles to the fishing hole, and the dogs seem eager to get there. The extreme long line has been down for over 12 hours. With 3,000 feet between us and the bait, there's no way to know if we've got something on the line.
Maybe. This is the one Greenlandic word I'm picking up.
Until we haul it up.
We've got a long haul getting the rock and getting the hooks up from the bottom. Something like 3/4 of a mile. And over here, take a wrap. Off we go.
It could be wishful thinking, but this feels heavier than the weighted line we dropped down yesterday.
I think it's more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. There could be something on the end of this other than that lump of rock. Feels like more of an effort.
Walking in relay gives us a chance to catch our breath.
It's a bit like hauling something that could be 1,000 pounds plus in weight, twice the height of the Empire State Building, something like that.
But half an hour of heavy hauling brings the end of the line to the surface.
Line, chain. Oh! Yes, there's a fish. We have a fish on. We just need to get the chain up. Oh, yes. This is a big one. How do we get it through the hole?
The shark isn't fighting. It probably died on the line overnight.
Oh, right. The hole isn't big enough for the shark, so just cutting more ice. 2, 3. It still feels like it's stuck. Looks like we're going to need a bigger hole.
I never like to see a dead fish, but it's all part of survival here for the Inuit. This shark will feed Simi's dogs for weeks to come.
This is a big head. How big is the rest of it? This could be the moment if the hole's big enough. Okay, ready? Need to... Yes, is that coming? Yes, it started to come. I think it's a good 10 foot or so. I think there's still more to come.
This is a perfect opportunity to further my investigation.
It's out. It's a big animal. This is massive. This is huge. Let's have a look at it. It's a female. Very shark-like tail, that asymmetric tail. The fascinating thing about sharks that we always want to look at is the jaws, the teeth. And the Greenland shark has these very pointy teeth on the upper jaw. That's for gripping. But then on the lower jaw, you've got these almost square-shaped teeth with almost like a chisel blade on the end.
They're definitely sharp, but are they sharp enough to attack and kill?
The other thing here is the nostrils. Thinking of my baits in the context of this place, we're talking about a depth of water a couple of thousand feet deep. The bait is just a tiny speck in that immensity of water, and this managed to find it, and the way it found it is using its sense of smell.
The next morning, I'm itching to get on and get fishing.
What about this, though?
Crocodile tracks. They indicate the water must be warmer here on the Babai than on the Karnali, so crocs have to be on the suspect list for any attack here. But Firalal's scars were like no crocodile bites I've ever seen. They were made by a narrower-jawed monster. More like an alligator gar, maybe. A fish I know well.
Actually laying hands on this prehistoric beast.
But gar are not native to these waters. There's got to be something else out here. We continue downstream to the area where Firilal was attacked.
Yeah, let's try one from just here.
With tigers and crocs on the banks, I'm staying in the boat. I'm not sure what attacked Firilal, but it's in here somewhere.
Oh, there we go. Yep. Whoa! There it is. Well, I have no landing net or anything, so that might impede me just a little bit. There. That is a snakehead. I've seen snakehead in the Indian subcontinent. Normally just a few inches long. I've used them for bait. But this thing, this has got to be, I don't know, around about the £10 mark, something like that. But I have it on good authority that these grow considerably bigger. A reliable estimate of £90. And if you've got one of those in a throw net, particularly when one of these is fresh, full of energy, that could well pull you in. I wouldn't want to be in that position myself.
A big snakehead could have been responsible for the dragging incidents on the Karnali. But what about the attack on Firilal here on the Babai?
It's one of the very few fish that will actually go for a person, knowing that it's a person. It's not poor visibility, mistaken identity, reflex grab, anything like that. This is one fish that really does punch above its weight. Putting on a bite-proof glove here, I'm going to try and have a look at the teeth. A lot of predatory fish swallow their prey whole. Some predatory fish, such as piranhas, bite lumps out, and you can look at their teeth and you can tell that that's what they do. This is a bit misleading. They don't look like cutting teeth. They look like gripping teeth. They're like needles. But in fact, what they do is when they grip their prey, if they shake the head, those teeth act rather like the teeth on a saw blade, and they can actually cut a small fish in half in a fraction of a second. It looks like this has been injured by something. On the other side as well, it looks like something's had a go at it.
Anything that attacks a 3-foot snakehead is going to be a serious predator. and the tooth marks again suggest a narrow-jawed assailant. Whatever bit into this snakehead may be what attacked Firulal. On the way to George's Island, I spot a lot of activity, a sign that fish are feeding. It's a chance to get my line in the water and catch potential suspects. I'm hoping that pulling a bright lure behind the boat will call out to anything predatory nearby. This diving vein here, that will send it down deep. I'm expecting this to work fairly close to the bottom in this coastal bit of water here. There's also a little bit of a rattle there. So this is actually working on different channels. It's sending out visual cues, but also there's vibration in the water. Floating down, floating, and then down it goes. I mean, that's good. That shows the lure is working well. That nice bounce of the rod tip there. The chances are a fish might first pick up not on the visual flash of the lure, it might first actually feel that vibration, head towards it, then it'll move in for the strike. It's not long before something takes my lure. Yep. It's interesting, this is sort of heavy, but it's not really running. It's coming in. Just a flash. There it is, there it is, there it is. It's going down again. It's a golden snapper, and it's pretty well armed. This is a very spiky fish. What a beautiful fish, what a lovely coloration. Big eyes, suggests a sight predator. Big mouth, well that just confirms that it's a hunter, it is a predator. Teeth in there, they're not very big teeth, but that's basically if it grabs something, whatever it is, it's not going to get away. It's a fearsome predator, but they only grow to a couple of feet and their teeth are too small to inflict the life-threatening puncture wounds I'm investigating. This looks like quite a nice spot here. There's the main current flowing down to the estuary just there. But there's a little slack there. I think we can tuck in there. We can be in a little bit of shade, which is always nice. I'm going to use a different tactic. I'm ditching the lures and going with bait. And I'll cast out to the edge of the deep channel. This could be my final chance to do battle with a big black bass. Oh, here we go. There's something on there. Let's go out this way a bit, yeah. Yes, that's a fish. Motoring over to where the fish is at the moment. It looks like it's well clear of the bank, but the problem is there could well be sunken snags down here. Shortening the line, shortening the line, shortening the line. Yeah, just keep coming this way into this clear bit. It's a big fish. Yeah, can maybe stop the motor, stop. Yeah, this is good, this is good. Here we go. And, oh, there's the leader, there's the leader. I can see it now. It's on the surface. There it is. It's a big bass. Net in the water. Lift. Yes. Wow. Yeah. Well, this is a big New Guinea black bass. This battle-scarred specimen is large, but they can grow to twice this weight. I think all the pieces finally fall into place. It has the coloration that matches George's story of that mystery fish on the reef. It has the teeth that could have inflicted that bite wound that I saw on Andrew. And having felt this on the end of a line, no doubt about it, the power. If this thing
grabbed hold of your leg and started pulling, I think you'd go with it. You'd go under the water. This is the fish that I'm looking for. This is the fish behind those stories.
When I set out to investigate these attacks, I thought I was searching for a saltwater predator. Turns out, I was only half right. These attacks are part of growing evidence that black bass are able to straddle the worlds of both fresh and salt water. It's an amazing adaptation that scientists are only starting to understand. And for me, it's encouraging proof that new monster mysteries are still out there, waiting to be uncovered.
Yes!
It's not long before I get another strike. The fish are definitely on the feed. This one is firmly hooked, but I've still got a fight on my hands.
There's all sorts of snags down there which I've been hanging up on, so I'm keeping the rod up. I'm trying to get it to the surface. See the leader? Just saw a flash. There it is. There it is.
This is the first Papuan black bass I've caught.
Well, I actually thought this was a significantly bigger fish. It does say a lot for the power of these.
This is a good start, but one this size couldn't be responsible for the attacks I'm investigating. I need to catch a big one, and they get much bigger than this.
It's encouraging. I'm feeling that I'm starting to get the measure of these.
I'm clearly in the right place, but time looks like it might be against me.
That doesn't sound good.
Black bass are sight predators, and the muddy runoff from the banks means they won't be able to see my lure. Carrying on in this is futile.
Something on here. I'm going to swing it in the boat.
I've hooked a third predator for my list.
Quite a feisty thing.
What it lacks in size, a snakehead more than makes up for with aggression.
Those teeth they're like daggers, really. They are capable of actually sawing pieces of flesh out of another fish. It's a bit like the teeth on a saw blade. If they shake the head side to side like that, they can actually rip a piece of flesh out. Very aggressive when it comes to protecting their young. They've even been known to go for people.
But despite its attitude, this fish is not one of my suspects.
Although it's called the giant snakehead, these grow to a maximum size of about 40 pounds, something like that. And at that size, there's no way that a snakehead could jump out of the water and pull somebody from a boat.
We then head out into the field to catch bait for the shark fishing. It's a good opportunity to see what lives on the sea floor here.
Deep water here, 300-400 feet. When you look at the land, you can just see the steepness of that mountainside that just carries on down. And I'm jigging. I've got a heavy lure that I've just lowered down to the bottom. And I'm just raising it up in the water, letting it sink down. Something down there is going to see an enticing bit of movement, hopefully. So, redfish.
Redfish are a very important prey item for Greenland sharks. But of course, they prefer bigger ones than that one.
Right.
But they do come in a much bigger size here also.
I've got something a little bit bigger on here. So, let's have a look. As I say, this is what we want. Oh. Right, perfect bait for Greenland shark apparently, so we're on our way. was quite a good size.
That's also good for bait.
Here we go. This is what they call a tusk. Well, that's good bait as well. Ah, oops, in the thing.
As the day goes on, the wind direction changes, bringing in cold Arctic air from the north. The storm is close.
Okay, got that?
Yeah.
After a couple of hours, I feel a pull on my line,
That's it. Okay, here we go. It's going to wind down.
and this time it feels bigger.
Yes, eventually. Yes, yes, yes. There is something. Can someone just hang on to me though? Thanks.
Whatever is on the line, it's fighting, and bringing it up is not easy from a wet, moving deck.
There's definitely a weight on here. Considerable weight.
The last time I landed a Greenland shark was in the middle of the night. An encounter in daylight will be far more revealing. But I can't relax for a second.
I've probably got its head, the whole body tilting up at the moment, so if it actually beats its tail, it's helping its way to the surface. But if I pause to take a breath, if it gets its head down, suddenly my work's a lot harder.
My arms are burning, but I've got to keep reeling. I may not get another chance.
Yes, yes, here we go. It's on the surface. There it is.
Wow. Yeah, exactly what we were talking about.
Right,
Wow.
This is interesting.
This is very, very unusual.
Even after 15 minutes on the line, this supposedly sluggish shark is thrashing with the energy more like I'd expect from a great white. This is surprising.
I've never seen a Greenland shark with this kind of movements. I've never seen one this much alive. Normally they are slow and docile. Really interesting. Wow. You want to try it? Yeah.
A noose is secured around its tail to prevent the shark from spinning.
Jeremy,
213, I've got.
Yep.
213.
7 feet long and weighing 250 pounds, I'm told it's a 40-year-old juvenile.
We let go. There we go, off we go. Vertical.
After my frustrations on the Carnali, I'm eager to get a line in these pristine waters. Now I have a real chance of tracking down the monster that's stalking this region's rivers.
Yeah, there's something pulling there. There we go. Yeah. Got a fish. Look at that. Look at that. This is a Mahseer. I think the first thing to be said about this is that it's a very pretty fish. These large golden scales, very streamlined body. This is what, back in the days of the British Empire, the colonial gents in their time off used to come and fish for. These potentially grow to over 100 pounds. Some stories even maybe 200 pounds. I've caught large Mahseer myself. I caught one over 90 pounds. So this is certainly a fish that if somebody got it in their throw net, this is absolutely capable of pulling you in the water. Although it doesn't look like it, this is actually a predator. It has a very muscular mouth, which is sort of telescopic. It's quite capacious there. It feeds on the bottom, going over rocks, feeling with these, but that's capable of taking quite large prey. And it does have teeth, but the teeth are not in the normal place. They are throat teeth. They're in the back of the throat.
A large Mahseer can be a formidable fish, but I'd need to see how big they grow here to be convinced it's a serious suspect. I decide to switch up my tactics. Instead of fishing a single spot, I start trolling, allowing me to cover much more of the reef.
Oh, and ahead. You know, fish are on the hunt. They're definitely on the hunt. The birds are coming down to grab any confused, injured bait fish. Yeah, it's really kicking off here now.
And this activity is a sign unseen predators are on the hunt.
Oh, yeah. Looked or something, but that's really going. This is a powerful fish. Oh, I can see colour. Here we go. Getting it slowly nearer to the surface. We're going to see the fish.
It's a giant Trevally.
Big eye, that goes with being a sight predator, hunting down prey by sight.
As I discovered in Fiji, giant Trevally can be lethal, using their head as a battering ram. But I'm looking for an aggressive biter.
They got teeth. There's a couple of canines in the middle of the lower jaw. You know, that could inflict some damage.
But not the life-threatening wounds I'm investigating. And there's another thing. An experienced fisherman like George would recognise it.
These are very familiar fish. If somebody saw a giant Trevally, they'd know it was a giant Trevally. So we're talking about something else.
Back on the trail of the mystery assailant, my boatman John and I carry on trolling to see what other big predators can be enticed from the depths.
Every now and again this gives a real hit on the rod. Well, it's in quite close now. I can see... that's quite a long fish. What's that? That's Barracuda. Okay, here we go.
This fish has the hardware to cause some serious injury.
Those teeth are almost like daggers. The mouth doesn't really even need to close. It just swims at speed with its mouth open and leaves a long cut.
The teeth are so sharp that in Florida, just a glancing blow was enough to slice a man's arm to the bone. Although dangerous, this fish doesn't make my suspect list either.
And the shape and everything's all wrong for a start, but everybody knows what a barracuda is around here.
The spear fisherman described a dark, full-bodied creature with a big head, so definitely not this fish.
Well, I'm starting to rack up the species, and certainly lots of predators here, but nothing so far that's at all out of the ordinary.
The bony-jawed needlefish is also tough to hook.
Oh, it is, it's a fish. Here we go. That's off. I think in a way I might have been lucky just to keep it on that long. The trouble is they got very bony jaws. That didn't stay on.
With fishing time running out, I decide to switch things up. I change boats, getting myself lower to the water, and employ a little island ingenuity.
What the locals do for this fish is they use this. It's just a piece of rope that's been unpicked. Something like a needlefish, lots of small teeth, comes along, chomps onto that, and those teeth just get tangled up in all those strands.
Eventually, something strikes.
Okay, stop. There's one on here. I'm taking it very, very gently.
It's secured only by a tangle of fibres, so bringing this fish in is a delicate operation.
I'm relying purely on tangle, not on hook hold. This is a completely different way of playing a fish. Just keeping enough tension. That's a needlefish.
I can finally take a good look at this fish's lethal business end.
Well, I've seen these in the water, but to see this close up is really something very different.
Holding this needlefish with its large, light-sensitive eyes, it's easy to imagine how it could have been drawn to Lena's jewellery and startled by the Sampella fishermen's lanterns. But I can't take my eyes off that long, sharp jaw.
If you're a small fish, then the weapons you have to worry about are those needle-sharp teeth. But if you're a person, like the snorkeler, in the water, then it's not so much those teeth, it's the whole snout that becomes the weapon. And you just have a very, very small point on the end. And even something that size moving at speed through the water, that is almost like a dagger. And there are numerous places in the body where if that went in just a couple of inches, that could be fatal.
Linking all these attacks is a major step forward, but I still have no idea of the perpetrator's identity. Jim's story does give me one other piece of information, though. The recent incidents were all in the ocean, but Jim's brother was attacked in the brackish waters of a river mouth. My boatman, John, knows the spot.
Estuaries can be very interesting places because this boundary between fresh and salt, it's almost like a barrier. Most saltwater species, they can't go up the river. Most river species can't continue to the sea. But you get a certain amount of mixing. You get a certain amount of mixing of the water and also a certain amount of mixing of species. So it's the kind of place where you can sometimes find a surprise.
This location could be a breakthrough because it's possible that what I'm after isn't just a marine fish.
Because I'm after a carnivore, I'm going to be using a dead fish. Quite smelly, this one. The thing is, when I put it in the water, the current is going to take out a nice trail.
Unweighted, the bait would get washed away by the current. So I'm using a big lump of dead coral to hold it on the bottom, where there's a much better chance of getting a strike. I'm tying the weight onto the main line with weak monofilament, so that when something takes the bait, it will snap off, and I won't have to haul in the rock as well.
No need to cast this, I'm just going to lower it off the back of the boat and the current will take it down some way.
I've barely set my rig when there's a bite.
Here we go. Yes. Here we go, fish on. It's here, it's this side. It's about 5 feet long. Whatever it is about 5 feet long. There it is.
An unmistakable fin breaks the surface. It's a juvenile bull shark, at home in salt water, but also comfortable in the brackish water of a river mouth.
We're going to get in the boat, have a slightly closer look at it. So, if I just lift up here, John's going to get the tail. Good to go. There it is.
We have to be careful. The shark's highly flexible cartilage skeleton allows it to bend back on itself in ways that bony fish can't.
The thing with this is, you know, just half a second lack of concentration, you've got a hole in your arm and you... Okay. This is about the right size for the fish that bit Jim's brother, but look at the teeth.
I've seen the mark of this beast before. Normally hidden by gums, its teeth, like almost all sharks, leave behind a distinctive crescent-shaped bite. So sharks aren't on my suspect list. Their jaws just don't match the puncture wounds I'm investigating.
So interesting to see what's in these waters in the way of predators. I think it's still alive. I think it's time to put this over the side.
Although it's a biter, this one's just tried to take a chunk out of me. This isn't the Magilu that Jim talked about.
Off it goes.
Just as I fear my window of opportunity is closing, a sign from the deep.
Is that something? Yeah.
I strap in just in case. This is definitely my last chance to land something big.
Yes, 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 yes.
You have something?
Yes! It's actually pulling. Are you on my back? Somebody on that back. Somebody on this handle here. Yeah.
Now it is.
That's rolling, it's rolling. Potentially dangerous because it rolls too far up the line. Ah. There's a very strong pull here, and the way that the rod is levering me, and I've got feet on a slippery deck. This is a couple of times I've just been quite worried about disappearing over the edge.
There's no doubt that whatever is on my line has monstrous power.
Lean me back.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, there it is. Ah, yes! Yes.
It's a wide one. It's very wide. It's a feisty one. It's a very feisty one.
It's a 10-foot Greenland shark.
Where's the other end?
Here, got it here.
So it's a big male shark. We can see from the claspers that they are very well developed.
Julius and I have just minutes to examine, tag and release this shark. The process punctures the thick skin but doesn't harm the animal. These satellite tags will record how far and how deep this shark swims over the next 6 months. For me, though, it's all about size and power.
So this is the girth. So that is how wide around the body this animal is.
I reckon this shark weighs around 700 pounds. Julius estimates it's roughly 200 years old. It's one of the biggest and certainly the oldest fish I've ever caught. It's truly awe-inspiring to look at this creature up close, a monster that few people ever see. And this daylight encounter has told me what I needed to know.
Well, this is what I came to Norway for. What I wanted to see was a live Greenland shark in the daylight, up on the surface, so I could get a really good look at it. And also, the other thing was just feeling it on the line.
The sharks that I pulled in didn't seem like docile scavengers. Their powerful bursts of energy were those of a beast that can react fast to moving prey. A hunter that knows its own strength and how to use it. Add to that the highly specialised teeth, and you could be looking at a very capable predator.
Today, we have made a significant step towards getting a much fuller picture of this very, very strange, elusive shark.
But does the Greenland shark pose a threat to people in the water? Certainly, knowing what I know now, I'd think twice about jumping into the water with another one. This shark appears to have a temperament that can shift from unassuming scavenger to powerful killer in a heartbeat. And until we know what flicks that switch, I just hope that this mysterious Jekyll and Hyde monster remains deep under the Arctic ice, well away from here. Roslan reckons the best spots to catch baitfish are on the main river. There are several smaller species to be found here, and the quickest way to stock up is with a throw net.
Okay, you hold it.
It's been a while though since I last used this method,
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
and my technique is a little rusty.
Ah, no back.
I've caught the boat.
It's okay.
Here we go.
1, 2. Great. Much better.
It's getting there.
Take 4. And I'm starting to get my eye in. There's just one small snag. We're not fishing for twigs. Taking a break, I let Roslan try his hand.
Oh, here we go. Got some fish. 3. They look a bit like Mahseer. Oops. So there we go. Something called the rom. That's going to be good bait. Good sized snack for a tapah with a bit of luck.
Back in Tapah territory, I've now got a good stash of baitfish to work with. And there's one in particular that Roslan is recommending.
It doesn't look very appetizing, but there's a story, the locals say, that the tapah is jealous of these rather luxuriant whiskers on the chin. The tapah has rather pathetic ones, they're very short like that. So the tapah is jealous of this fish. When it sees it, it makes it angry. Sounds like the tapah has serious anger management issues. Let's hope it works.
I decide to fish over a deep pocket in the river. And within minutes, something powerful has hit the bait.
I want this onto the boat. And now. We got a snakehead. The float just vanished, and I thought it's got to be a tapah. I was using a large bait that engulfed a 3-pound catfish. And it just reminds me that fish are not like us. We cut things into bite-sized lumps and chew them. Fish very often just swallow something whole. Powerful, muscular fish. And you can see why they call them snakehead. That head is just like a snake's. I'm pleased with that, very pleased with that. I feel sort of warmed up, ready for a tapah now.
The storm eventually blows over. But after such heavy rain, the rivers could swell and become unfishable, possibly in a matter of hours. Setting up on the bank as before would eat precious time. So I decide to moor up and fish from the boat. All I can do now is wait and hope that the fishing gods will see fit to lift their curse.
We got a fish.
But there's work to do.
It's on a tree. Let's go above it. It's round a tree, I think.
Okay, keep in the middle. Out in the middle, please. It's coming up, it's coming up. Right.
Ready? You ready?
I'm ready. Here we go, here we go, here we go. It's clear, it's clear. Lift, 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 lift. Now! We have it. We have it. Tapah. We have it. Let's go to the bank.
At long last, my Tapah curse has lifted.
Right, let's have a look at this beast. Lengthwise, it just goes on and on. This is a fish with eyes bigger than its stomach.
Dogs, huge lizards, a cow, and even humans. I've heard enough about its feeding habits to know that this is a beast that means business. So what about the boatman and the diver on Lake Kenyir? Did they, in fact, fall foul of a Tapah?
The one thing that's actually bothering me is the teeth. They're very sharp, they're very numerous. If one of these jumped out of the water and grabbed you, your arm or your leg is going to look basically like hamburger meat. And yet, neither of those corpses at Lake Kenyir had so much as a scratch.
For so long, this creature has been my nemesis. But that doesn't make it guilty of homicide. Maybe for once, the real culprit isn't an animal. But even if the 2 deaths on Kenyir remain a mystery, it hasn't all been in vain. At long last, I've finally caught it. The Tapah is no longer the one that got away.
That's something on. That's the fish on already. First cast. That's a good sign. Right, just gonna swing it. It's a grouper. Very impressive sized mouth. Even on a fish this size. So there's certainly predators in these waters.
I waste no time getting my lure back into the water. And it's not long before something else hits it.
Oh! See something out there? It's being followed by several fish. Lovely fish. A blackjack. That is definitely a predatory fish. Some sharp teeth. The way it hammered that lure on the surface. The thing about the lure I'm using at the moment is that it makes a lot of disturbance. It's visual, it's also sound as well. And fish they're all opportunists, particularly predators. They come in and have a look. And even when this one was on the line, there's other fish chasing this. It's just a very good beginning to my education about this particular part of the ocean. Off it goes. Right. This is an oceanic triggerfish, so called because of that spine on the back, a bit like a trigger on a gun. And what they do is they jam that in the open position like that to hold themselves in coral. They often go to sleep like that at night. And look at the teeth on that. Those are sort of coral munching teeth. But it actually went for a lure.
I'm going to try a different approach by using to my advantage the strong currents that swirl around the island. Maybe it was scent rather than sight that brought in the predators that night.
There's a whole sardine on the end here, and the boat is drifting, so we're just going to slowly drift. We'll keep some chum going in the water, just to bring the small stuff in, get some activity going, and hopefully bring in the bigger predators.
Oils from these pieces of fish leave scent trails in the water, and the predators here quickly find my bait. Something fast almost empties my reel.
Fish took right next to the boat. Look at that thing go, leaping in the air.
The fish is desperately trying to throw the hook. Then, my line goes slack.
It's off. What? Oh, no, it's still there. It's just running towards me. If I had any doubt about these waters being rich, here's a bit of confirmation there. Oh, this is a good-sized Dorado on.
This clearly isn't a silvery assailant, but it is a powerful predator in its own right and worth a closer look.
Beautiful fish, look at that. Dorado means gold, but look at all the blue on there. Also known as Mahi-Mahi dolphin fish.
Those acrobatic leaps are totally in character for a hunter that takes out flying fish.
It's still got a lot of strength actually, I can feel it flexing.
But despite their obvious strength and agility, Dorados have never been known to pose a threat to humans.
Off he goes. Ooh, strong fish.
But time might be against me. This is Cape Point at the southerly tip of Africa, known here as the Cape of Storms. It's 3 hours before we get the first sign of fish.
Are they still there?
He's right here, he's right under us.
According to the sonar, we're right above a school of fish. There could be anything between a couple of hundred to 1,000 fish down there. So what I'm using is this. This is actually, it's lead with a bit of coloration on it, and I'm just dropping that down to the bottom, and that's what they go for.
These Cape fur seals sense that there might be an opportunity for easy prey.
Let's see what happens when a small bait fish imitation runs the gauntlet.
The sonar only tells me so much. I know there's fish down there, but are they snook?
we go.
Whatever I catch, I'll need to get it in the boat fast to avoid it being snatched off the line.
Just retrieving it a bit erratically. Here we go. That's one. That's one. This feels like a good size. This is taking line out.
This fish is stronger than I anticipated.
I'm trying to bring it in quickly because there's seals around. That's the problem. There it is. There it is. There it is.
It is a sleek, silvery predator, but is it the culprit?
Here we go. Right, I'm being very careful actually not to get too close to this because not only has it got very sharp teeth, but also apparently if one of these does bite you, if it draws blood, there's anticoagulant there, you just won't stop bleeding for hours. So I'm looking as close as I dare, but not too close. But this is what I came here all this way for. Open ocean, schooling fish, they're fast, predatory. Was this the silvery fish that they were talking about? The survivors of the Laconia. And in terms of puncture marks, well, that is going to cause a puncture mark.
What I'm seeing now does indeed point to Snoek being the first fish on the scene the night the Laconia went down. Whether it was just chance or the commotion of hundreds of people thrashing on the surface that brought them in, we'll never know. But it appears that the people in the water encountered a school of these fanged, ferocious fish.
What's very interesting and also quite frightening about what just happened is that a tuna is supremely adapted to living in this water. It's very fast, it's very powerful, and in the ordinary course of events, it can keep out of the way of sharks, generally speaking, but as soon as that's in a little bit of trouble, it's on a fishing line, and even though it's on that line, it's still travelling at speed. It's actually easy prey for the shark. So a person in the water, if the shark was so inclined, if a tuna can't get out of the way, then you're not going to.
The Laconia was hit at around 8 p.m. and sank by 9:30, leaving its stranded passengers with a full night of horror ahead.
Here on the equator, you don't get long evenings. It gets dark very quickly, sort of 7 o'clock-ish, something like that. And now, 9:30, pitch dark, has been for a couple of hours.
I'm using pieces of tuna that I'm going to send down to the bottom. I'm hoping this might at least bring evidence of a cookie cutter. The Atlantic at night is eerily quiet, and apart from the small pool of light from our boat, pitch black.
I can't help but make the connection between this boat and the Laconia, and also this time of night. This is about the time of night that the boat went down, and those hundreds of people ended up in this water.
Now it's just about keeping alert and feeling for a movement on my line. The movement, when it comes, almost pulls me in.
That's quite a rapid tail beat on now. Yeah, this feels quite heavy. It's interesting. It's actually coming up quite quickly. So here we go. Wow. So this is a horse-eye jack. Took down there in about 300 foot of water.
These are sometimes known as big-eyed jacks. They see well in the dark and at depths. They probably share nighttime territory with the cookie cutter, but there are no bite marks to suggest that this one has had an encounter.
Okay, gonna put this back.
In preparation for something huge, I put on a fishing harness. But if I'm honest, I don't really know what monsters will be lurking at these depths.
Oh, there's a knock, there's a knock.
Then I feel the gentlest of knocks on the line, before the reel on full drag screams off.
It's going, oh, that is going at a speed. That is going very fast.
Whatever has taken the bait down on the bottom has really taken off.
Oh, here we go. It's got something like a tail banging the line.
It doesn't feel like anything I've ever hooked before.
A mystery beast. But it's been really steaming off, taking line. It's a very strong fish. I mean, that is a very strong animal. Very strong animal. It feels like a massive, I was going to say dead weight. It's not dead, it's definitely alive. But it's a weight. I'm breaking quite a sweat here. I'm not really gaining anything at the moment. Oh, there we go, it's a little bit of gain there.
I winch it in, turn by painful turn. After nearly an hour of struggle, I might finally see my opponent. Whatever it is now close to the surface.
You can see something down there. A very indistinct outline.
But nothing prepares me for what is revealed on the end of my line.
One way or another, this is sort of end game. There's the fish. There it is.
What I've raised from the deep twists and turns on the line. It's like nothing I've ever seen before.
What is that?
It's easily longer than the width of our boat. I estimate around 12 to 14 feet long.
That's a big old fish. Well hooked. Woo! Right.
Sixgill.
Shark scientist Tristan identifies it as a six-gill shark, a primitive creature that inhabits the deep ocean.
Here we go.
This animal has more fossil relatives than living ones.
This is an absolute beast. An absolute beast.
It's an incredible opportunity for Tristan. A deep-sea giant like this has never been tagged here before, and the information we might gain could be vital to my investigation. But we only have a short time to get a tag in.
Go quick. Yes. See that? Fantastic.
Tristan has to rope the tail to get some degree of control. Then he can insert the tag into its dorsal fin.
Do you want those?
Yeah, that's it.
So this is 48 hours, then it'll pop off. Is that the idea?
Yeah, this is 48 hours, and this will log temperature, depth, and light, and then pop off.
That's in?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Right, we got the tag in, and I think we've had as good a look as we're going to get.
All right, tail rope off.
We're now releasing the fish.
You guys go.
Massive fish, and a creature of the abyss. Is this the first time tags of that kind have been used here, as far as you know?
First time anyone's ever put a satellite tag on a six-gill in Ascension Island. So it'll be very exciting to see what this animal does.
we have a reliable estimate of well over £1,000, you know, something like £1,100. That is actually the biggest fish that I've ever caught. It's a very special place, very special catch.
But thrilling as this catch was, I still can't place these leviathans at the scene of the Laconia's sinking. These are creatures of the deep. What would they have been doing near the surface? It seems the fish is calling the shots.